What's up, party people? Welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the new Drake mixtape, album compilation thing, Dark Lane demo tapes. First off, I'm going to start with an overview of all the tracks and my thoughts on them. So the first track is called Deep Pockets. It's a lush, vaporwave-esque beat, and Drake is just like effortlessly flowing over it. It's a very summery song. Great vocal performance from Drake. Overall, a very appealing track. One of my favorites off the album. Next is the song When to Say When. It's a very Drake song, and for that reason, it doesn't really stick out that much. It's just like a soul sample with some pretty simple drums over it, like almost like Diplomatic Immunity. Pretty strong vocal performance. Drake does his thing with his Drake flows. Next song is called Chicago Freestyle. This one's pretty cool. It starts out with some like degraded piano, like detuned chords, and the R&B singer Giveon, I think is how you say it, singing over it, and then it transitions into more of a spacey trap beat when Drake comes in. This transition isn't that smooth. That's my critique of it. I feel like they could have kind of stitched it together, or maybe those didn't really need to be stitched together. Even if they are the same key, it just doesn't really flow. It's also kind of long. I feel like it didn't need to be as long as it was, but it was a little bit repetitive. But overall, pretty good track. Next song is called Not You Too with Chris Breezy. It's a very bass-heavy, dreamy instrumental with some kind of like leaned out R&B trap drums. I like the backing vocals of Chris Brown under Drake, but I do wish that Chris Brown would have had his own part, like a verse or something. But what he did add to the track was good. The backing vocals. I love when two different artists will kind of sing in unison, and one is in the back. It kind of there's this like contrast between them, because you can, instead of just doubling your just one artist's vocals, you can really hear the difference in their voice, and it kind of stands out more. Also in the track, there's a nice synth glide with like portamento, where it shifts between two chords, and then that transitions to the B section of the track. It's a cool track, but once again, I am disappointed that Chris Brown didn't have a more prevalent part on the song. Next song is called Tootsie Slide. It's my least favorite track on the album. I don't know why, I just really didn't like it. It's bland. The beat is very bland and basic. The chorus is kind of annoying, where they left foot slide, right foot. I don't know. It seems like filler. And this is actually like the most popular one. I looked on Drake's Spotify, and it's his most popular song right now. It doesn't make sense. It's not a good track. I listened to the album 3 times before writing my review of it, and every single time that song got more unbearable to listen to. It was like, the second time I was like, oh, this song again. Third time I didn't even want to sit through the whole song. I don't know why it's so popular, but that's how it goes. Next song is called Desires featuring Future.
She belongs to the streets.
Let me read you some lyrics from here. Tell me what you think. Misogyny icon Future says, I tried to pay all your loans off and cop you a driver. Future is a simp? First iDubbbz, now Future? He was the chosen one. I can't even get into it. I'm heartbroken, personally. Future is my icon. Next song is called Time Flies. More filler. There's a weak chorus, underwhelming vocal performance from Drake, bland lyrics. Next song is called Landed. Good flow, tight delivery, decent, but not really that memorable. Next song is called D4L with Future and Young Thug. I love Future, I love Young Thug, and it's on a Southside beat. Love Southside. Pretty catchy though. What's happening in classic Southside beat with busy hi-hats, lots of slides in the hi-hats, loud 808, muddy kind of melody. One thing that I noticed around 34 seconds I don't know if this is intentional. Um, if it isn't, then that's bad on the engineer's part, and all the people who approved the album. If it is intentional, I'm also questioning what they were thinking because it doesn't sound good. About 34 seconds, there's like a timing issue is what it sounds like. When right when Future like punches is when you hear it, and it just sounds out of time and like it was chopped together, and it just stood out to me. I just heard it and then I couldn't unhear it. I mean, allegedly they're demos, so. Alright, next song is called Pain 1993 featuring Playboy Cardi. First off, shout out to Pierre. I love his new tag. I usually don't like tags, but it's just like everyone's going, "Oh, yo, Pierre," and then the fire beat comes in, and you're just like, "Oh shit," you know. It works sometimes. I really like the direction that Pierre Bourne's going recently. If you look at like On God from Jesus is King, it's this one's a little bit similar. He's using a lot more synths. This one has like a really good atmosphere of synths. All right. Now let's talk about Cardi's verse. To me, it sounds like he's doing a little bit of a Young Thug impression in his baby voice. Just the way that he like will run out of breath at the end of a line. A lot of the vocal inflections, it's very thugga. I do like the chaotic ad libs, but altogether, it's not really hitting. I don't know. Maybe it's the way it's mixed. Maybe it's his delivery, but it just doesn't fit right. Doesn't feel right. Something feels off about it. Um, Not the best Cardi verse I've ever heard. I was a little bit disappointed. But because it's Cardi doing his baby voice, it kind of overshadows Drake, and you're not really listening to what Drake's saying. Next song is called Losses. I love the instrumental. It's chill, slow, bouncy. Um, Drake just glides over the wavy beat with some good flows. Um, but there was some kind of cringe lines on this one. Um, for example, he said, like, "I'm trying to show the waves, this is no cap." Like, come on, bro. What are you saying? Next song is called From Florida with Love. And the beat on this one's interesting. It was made by 40 from OVO, uh, well respected producer. I'm not sure how I feel about it though. The melody's really cool. It's very filtered and warped and distorted. But the drums, they've got a good bounce, but I feel like some of the sound selection is a little bit wonky. Some of it's kind of cringy too. Like that plug tag, it's from this group of producers. I forget what it's like, Beats Plug or something, Beat Plugs. Um, it feels very dated though. It's kind of a dated thing to have those kind of tags. And I don't know, a lot of like the open hats sounds, and some of them are like stuff from I had in my drum kits in like seventh grade when I was just making trap beats, like free Metro Boomin drum kits from random websites. Just like the most cringy kind of overused, like very like early new wave trap kind of sounds. Just not sounds that I expected to hear in a song released in 2020. But I feel like if I didn't make beats and it wasn't kind of like a pet peeve hearing some of those sounds, then I probably wouldn't care and I would like the track more. But it's my review, it's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Next song is called Demons. It's Drake's attempt at a drill song, I guess. You actually two New York drill artists featured on here. Um, the choir sound in the beat is just too loud to me. Listening to the whole song, it was kind of like hurting my head hearing this choir. It sounds too loud in the mix. But Drake's voice isn't really hitting on it either for me. It's a cool beat, but you know it's been done a million times. It's a pretty basic drill beat. Um, I did like Fivio Foreign's contribution to the song. Great delivery. I take a perk now, I turn to a monster. It reminds me of this drill song, this New York drill song called No Twirl Zone by Leaf. I love that song. I used to listen to that all the time. Um, Drake though, I don't know how I feel about Drake on drill. And that brings me to the next track, War, which is another drill, but it's just Drake. The beat is made by Axel Beats, very famous drill producer from the UK. Still, Drake on a drill track, I don't know about it. It's not really working for me. Overall, it was really forgettable and underwhelming. Um, I like outros to be grand and more memorable than most of the songs, especially some of the middle songs. That's where you put all your filler. The outro track is what everybody's taking away from it primarily. I mean, it's the last thing you hear and the only thing you remember. And this one wasn't hitting for me. It was disappointing. Disappointing way to close the album. Just an overview. I think the forgettable and underwhelmingness of the last track kind of was the theme of the entire project. Might be a little bit harsh, but um, there was some good tracks on here. A couple good tracks with some good ideas, but lots of filler, lots of mediocrity. Kind of just brought it all down. To give it a number score, I'm feeling like a 5 out of 10. The first time I listened to it, I was thinking in my head like 6, but I wasn't really paying attention. Because usually with the first time I listen to something, I'll like read a book while I'm listening to it, just so I can hear stuff that like really sticks out. That's what I do when listening to stuff to sample for beats. Um, because then you really hear something crazy that stands out. But yeah, when I really paid attention to it, I realized how bland some of the stuff was. If it is true, as the title says, that these are demo tapes, then maybe that kind of explains some of the criticism I had. But I don't think that any refined versions of the tracks are coming out anytime soon, so I'm grading it as an album. And as an album, it's a 5 out of 10 album for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and if you have any other albums you want me to review, let me know in the comments and I'll check them out. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your day. God bless.